Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
It is a pleasure to be with you. We know that Hanukkah did end last night, so again, happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate, and Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate. And let's be safe, healthy, happy, and really look forward to what could be a really interesting and I think exciting 2026. On the football front, Sean Fitz was the one that reported about Alex Tash being out, and again, when you're there, you
can see.
Well, Alex hasn't practiced once since the Rutgers game, and Sean is right about the injury and so forth. But again, it goes back to the great reporters we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I saw another terrific one. Daniel Gallen covered basketball, in fact, on Sunday. Daniel does a great job. But Sean's the one that put that story out there, and it's spot on. He hasn't practiced since the Rutgers game.
Okay.
A.J. Harris into the transfer portals, no surprise. Like Elliott Washington, he has not been out there one time for a Penn State football practice since the Rutgers game. So I mean, that's I'm not surprised. It's the portal. To me, his options were portal or draft. He probably feels he's not in a great draft position right now, so he wants to portal. AJ's a good player. I think, but I also think that at this point, Davian Collins already established himself on the other side, right? Darius Dixon, in a lot of ways, to me, is playing at this point better football than AJ.
Darius was put in a position to start over AJ Harris.
He started when AJ was hurt, and he started. I think it was the Michigan State game. AJ was hurt that week, couldn't play. AJ got back in the starting lineup after that. But AJ, Darius, in a lot of ways, in some ways, is playing better football. AJ has more experience, but again, I wish him nothing but the best, because I think AJ and Elliott are both, to me, terrific guys that. I got a chance to know AJ's dad a little bit. It was great, and I hope wherever he goes, he has a great close to his career and sets himself up for the draft. He gets a high draft pick and so forth.
And we'll discuss more Pinstripe Bowl stuff coming up in the show.
Right, Pinstripe, Pinstripe Bowl. I mean, I think was today the day they opened the New York Stock Exchange?
I'm
sure they sent over some freshmen.
Probably.
Go ahead, have a good time. Knock yourselves out.
The only thing they know of the Stock Exchange are from trading places in The Dark Knight Rises. That's all they know of the Stock Exchange.
Well, I wouldn't go too far on that.
Oh,
you got to remember now they are getting money.
That is true.
They have representation. There may be some people saying, hey, look, maybe you ought to start, because my understanding was with Tyler Warren, for example, it was always my understanding with him is that he took his money, NIL money, these are different eras now. Yeah. The era was 1 year ago, that he took his money and he invested it. Right? So, look, it depends on who the young person is. Some may get their money and boom, get a car. Other may take the money and set up a 401k. You just don't know. Okay. Each individual, you have 125 guys. They're all different, right? As you know, I have children.
Yeah,
they're all different. Okay, and that's and that's what you always have to take into account. You can't just paint with a broad brush as to they're blowing their money. No, not everybody thinks that way. I mean, some people are like, I think they're very stingy with their money, and there are other people like, it's going to be here forever. No, it's really not.
You know what is forever, though? Records. Sometimes a record can be forever. The case of Penn State wrestling. They set a new record this weekend. They won their 77th consecutive dual meet. They won 42-zip over Stanford on Saturday in the
They shut out North Dakota State, too, right?
Shut out North Dakota State as well down in Nashville. They broke the previous NCAA D1 record of 76 set by Oklahoma State from 1937 to 1951.
Right. And I believe at that point they may have been Oklahoma A&M, but they're Oklahoma State now.
Yes. Their last loss, by the way, can you tell me when it was?
It was Iowa 2020, January 30th.
January 31st, 2020,
Okay.
19-17 defeat at Iowa.
Yeah.
So it's
think-
almost been 6 straight years,
I know.
almost on the dot
I know.
of them winning. That's
Okay.
the word dynasty is discussed, but that's just insane.
Well, this again is the continued strength and depth of the program.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is a program record. It's not as if this group here won 77 in a row. They've contributed to the 77 in a row, like last year's group contributed to the 77 in a row 2 years ago. You know,
The
and
groups
so
from
forth.
February onwards of 2020 have
Right.
contributed to this.
Right. And it's at the point. I think Jack Ham encapsulates it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
He's asked me how many matches, like bouts, has Penn State lost this year?
Mm-hmm.
Not whether they lost the dual meet, but
Yeah.
he's asked me how many bouts have they lost, because most of these have been either shutouts or a 35-3, or you know what I mean? I mean, what are the dual meet scores this year? Do you have that in front of you?
The dual meet scores this year for Penn State wrestling.
I mean, have they lost 4
Let's
bouts
see.
total this year?
They 45 zip over Oklahoma. I don't have the Black Knight Invitational numbers. Drexel 43-3, Lehigh 36-6, Wyoming 40-7.
So they've lost 5 bouts the whole year.
Yeah.
They've lost 5 bouts. Not like it's a. I mean, that's how remarkable it is. So, what the dual meet record is? What, 6-0?
6-0.
So they're in 6. That means if they're 6-0, that means they've had 60 bouts. They're 55-5.
Yeah. In their total, the total point total they have over that span, they've outscored dual opponents 2,666 to 514, which is an average score per thestatecollege.com of 35-7. Like, we have talked about when teams and programs are great. This is a step beyond just like great. This is. I can't even give you a correlation of another sport
There
or a
isn't.
thing. This is.
Well, except I mean, the closest to, in my mind, would be UCLA basketball under John Wooden when they won 10 out of 12.
Yeah.
They had an 88-game winning streak at one point. They had another streak. Trying to think what the streak was with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It was when Houston broke it.
I believe it was 88 games.
Well, 88 games was when Walton was there, right? Notre Dame beat them in South Bend. And Kareem, they lost that game to Houston in 68.
47-game win streak was
47.
upset by Houston.
Yeah.
It was the game of the century.
Right, 47 in a row. Houston won the game like 71-69. They then played again in the Final Four at the LA Sports Arena, which is no longer there. The soccer stadium is now there. And when they played in the Final Four 2 months later, UCLA won 101-69.
Not bad. Right. Not bad, Steve.
I mean, incredible. But that's the only one I can correlate it to in winning 10 out of 12, because it wasn't just the 10 out of 12 that UCLA won. It was the fact that they have a 47-game winning streak and an 88-game winning streak in there. This is a team winning 77 wrestling bouts in a row.
The only other team I could think of, just off of just pure thinking this past little bit, has been UConn women's basketball when they have that streak of like 100 some odd games they won in a row. Like that's.
And then, Penn State women's volleyball team had a long streak.
Yeah.
It may have been sets in a row, like 129 sets in a row when Russ Rose was here. I think didn't they
109 matches.
Penn State women's volleyball won 109 in a row. It was always interesting because Russ always loved going over and talking to Cale, and Cale always loved going over and talking to Russ because their offices were right down the hall from each other in Rec Hall. And the great respect that the two of them had and have for each other is remarkable, because part of what you have to do over and over again is you have to convince the team and the individuals that it's a new season, that you have to convince the individuals and the team that it is a new day. You are guaranteed nothing by past results.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed nothing by it. You have to go out and do it again. It takes a special program with the head coach, the assistants, and the leadership on the team, and the individuals themselves, whether it's women's volleyball players or wrestlers in this case, to be convinced that every single day you have to prove it. You have to prove it in the wrestling room. You have to prove it when you go out to wrestle. Oh, it's only Stanford.
Still got to win.
You have to win. You have to do your job. And your singlet says Penn State on the front. You might as well put a target on it instead.
Yeah.
Because
you're the biggest game. You're the biggest match of the season.
You're the biggest everything to the opponent you face. And it doesn't matter whether it's North Dakota State or Stanford or Oklahoma, but it's the biggest one for Iowa.
Yeah.
Well, Iowa's allegedly the second best team in the country. It's not just what Penn State wrestling has done by winning. What they've done is what Iowa did not do when they had great years under Dan Gable. And part of it's the TV era. But in a lot of ways, with all due respect, Iowa kept winning, but did they advance the sport? I just asked that question.
Yeah.
Did they advance the sport? Now, there was not as much TV coverage back then, so maybe they could have if they had more TV coverage. But in this era of TV, where Penn State's on TV, let's take the Flow Wrestling thing out of it, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Big Ten Network on
BTN. All right. They're on 5 times. I think the Big Ten championships will make it 6. You end up 7 times a year, including the NCAAs. The way Penn State wrestles is dynamic. They go for throws. They go for big moves. They go for points. They're exciting to watch. In other words, they have advanced the sport. They bring more eyeballs to the sport because of not only that they win, but it's how they go about winning. And Iowa, for example, and this has been a struggle for Iowa fans. There's no question about this because they were so good for so many years, and Dan Gable did a phenomenal job with that program. Great job. Beyond words, great job. But Iowa has a lot of those 2-1, 4-3, I guess it's 3-1 now. Like 3-1, 6-4, you're like, and meanwhile, Penn State's over there, hey, we need another major decision here. Let's go. Right? And it's the way they do it. It's not just, and the program has great internal standards. Great internal standards. Cale Sanderson has a deep belief system, very deep belief system. Right? And it's important as to how he runs his program. And of course having Cody Sanderson, Casey Cunningham, right? Now Nick Lee's a part of it, but Cody and Casey have been there every day. I liken the two of them, Cody and Casey, to another great assistant that never left her job, and that's Chris Daly at UConn, who's been side by side with Gino Auriemma for decades. And you can't put a price on great long-term assistants and the loyalty that has to exist between head coach and assistants, where they look around and say, no, there's no other place I'd rather be. Right? And, you don't think Casey Cunningham and Cody Sanderson haven't had people call them saying, hey, how about our program? No, I'm good at Penn State. You don't think Chris Daly's had how many calls to leave?
Oh my gosh.
To be the head coach someplace? I've got to put Santa Claus on it.
Yeah, you're putting. There is a Santa right near us. He is now currently lit, and we'll discuss Christmas
in a lot of ways
later in.
So you look at all the greats, and there are certain people that Cale Sanderson surrounds himself not only with the right people in his front office, and Pat Dungai does a great job. He's part of this too. But he's surrounding himself with the kind of people he wants as wrestlers. And people know that if they come here, their chances of great success have grown exponentially. Now, you're going to have to win that success in the room, and you're going to have to win that success in the classroom, and you have to win that success once you get out to dual meets. Once you've won in the room. Winning in the room is very difficult because the program is great depth. Yeah. But it's so great for all of us to have something this special on campus, and I hope nobody ever takes it for granted. Yeah. I mean, now early on, oh my God, they're winning. It was great. Right? But they continue to win. Don't take it for granted, ever. Go to the next dual meet, which I think is the 10th year. Is that
January 10th is their next dual meet against Rutgers. Yes,
Rutgers. Right? Don't take it for granted. Go. Enjoy it. Realize that when you go to enjoy it, you're seeing something incredibly special. And embrace how special it is.
And we are, of course, here, Sports Talk with Steve Jones, powered up by Happy Valley Live and the Student Bookstore, our two sponsors on the show.
The Big Blue in the corner, and then Pat Romano's place, which is really nice. Dick Girardi and I had a really terrific dinner over there.
I ran into Dick Girardi over there before.
Yeah.
Mr. Girardi, analyst.
And
I wonder, Steve, what would his analysis of the first round of the college football playoffs be? I know it's not horse racing, which is his particular favorite, but the CFP round 1 has now come and gone. We've not had a chance to discuss the games.
Well, let's put it in horse racing terms.
Yes.
Okay.
So before we discuss...
Tulane and James Madison happen to be twice a prince and my gallant. Okay. Who are they? They're the horses that finished second and third to Secretariat in the Belmont Stakes.
So the Friday game, Alabama comes back from 17 down to beat Oklahoma 34-24.
That was impressive because remember, Oklahoma had beaten Alabama twice in a row. Last year in Norman, this year in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. And they're down 17-0. So instead of the here we go again, the two key parts to it. I'll go three key parts. Number one, the overall key part was that Alabama, after being beaten up front in the first quarter of the game, gradually took over the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball in the second, third, and fourth quarters.
Yes.
Number two, these are two plays, one by Oklahoma and one by Alabama. The one by Alabama is the terrific play the freshman made on the touchdown. Was it Brooks to get into the end zone? On the pass from Ty Simpson. That was a terrific play that kind of emotionally jump-started them. But this was following a Big John Mateer mistake. And the mistake, it was it third down or fourth down? I can't remember the down. Doesn't matter. They were at midfield. And Mateer gets away from the rush. And they're winning the game. They're doing well at this point. And he gets away and he rolls left, and he has the running back open downfield, and he threw it and he didn't reel it in. But if you look at the all 22 of it, the end zone look, Mateer's got 20, 25 yards in front of him. This guy's a really good runner. He picks up the first down and a chunk of yardage after that. And I don't quite know why he wanted to throw it downfield. I mean, look, I know he's got about 3 yards of separation, so he's open. I got that part. But this isn't one of the wideouts. Right? This is a running back that they have that's a little up and down in the passing game. And the pass was a good pass. It was, he dropped it. But Mateer had all this yardage in front of him, and a guy that's such a skilled runner, he had picked up 20 to 25 yards in the play. And I think they only needed 2, I think, to get the first down, 2 or 3. It was
third and short.
Right? And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, because when he rolled out, I'm thinking, all right, take off and go. Then he threw the ball. And your first thought when you see him throw the ball is somebody must be open.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, he was open, but he's like, uh-oh. And when that play happened, I sat back and went, uh-oh. This is the first dent we've seen in the armor tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M Miami game.
10-3 Miami wins over A&M in College Station in what was a football game that happened.
The college football playoff and the Hall of Fame in Atlanta will not be asking for the offensive tape of that game.
No, they won't. There were some great plays. There were some truly terrible plays. It, of course, ended, I believe, on a Marcel Reed interception in the end zone.
This is after the kid was a Malachi Toney.
Mm-hmm.
He made an incredible splash in the Notre Dame game to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
He is a terrific athlete out there. And I think, what was it, an end around they ran with him?
Yeah.
They ran a reverse for him to get the touchdown. Because some of this I watched, some of this I listened to on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I was between Andrew Monaco of Texas A&M and Joe Zagagi of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I was flipping back and forth on my radio listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they get the interception in the end zone at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that has not been the hallmark of Miami football. Mm-hmm. The hallmark of Miami football under Mario Cristobal is that they lose those games. Mm-hmm. They get to the fourth quarter, they don't make a key play, somebody makes a key play against them, and I'm still not quite sure where Reed's throwing the ball, but that's okay.
They took the 2020's Iowa approach and said, let's win the game 10-3. Now,
just
speaking
cruel.
of 10 points.
I think somebody sent me a text.
Oh, boy.
And it said opening round college football playoff, and it had Iowa on one side and Iowa on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing each other. I said, that's pretty good.
That was good. Speaking of 10 points, that is the number of points Tulane put up against Ole Miss, who won 41-10.
But again, that's the same thing that happened in the regular season, except for Lane Kiffin not being there. What's the difference?
Yeah.
They got to a big lead, and they routed them. And the same thing with James Madison. Oh, yeah, James Madison scored some points, whatever. After at this point, Oregon's not interested. Mm-hmm. Oregon scored the first 5 times they had the ball. Mm-hmm. So I think you're always trying to think, how can you make it better? Mm-hmm. And as you know, going in, I said one should be and not both. Mm-hmm. Right? And I feel justified in saying that because the issue is for Tulane and James Madison, not the skill positions. Mm-mm. They have both teams have really good skill players. Mm-hmm. No getting around it. The problem is that in the trenches, they're not as good as a Power 5 team or a Power 4 team. They're just not.
Yeah.
The SEC won, 7, 8 national championships in a row?
A lot.
And that's because in the trenches on both sides of the ball, they were better than the teams they were facing.
They had NFL professional offensive and defensive linemen on both sides of the ball. And that's the thing is you get a team, let's say they may have one guy who's like an NFL draft pick level player. Yeah. The problem is Oregon has 5 of them.
Right.
And 5 over 1 is a very different level of because you can have 2 of those guys take on the one guy and then all of a sudden it doesn't matter anymore.
Because you notice that a lot of the guys that Kurt Cignetti, that went with Kurt Cignetti to Indiana from James Madison were more D'Angelo, Pons, Surratt, a lot of skill players he brought over. He didn't bring over his 5 offensive linemen. Yeah. The offensive linemen he have are holdovers from Tom Allen. Right? They just got better. Mm-hmm. Right? They mixed in a transfer here and there, but they weren't JMU transfers. And Pons, Aiden Fisher, the linebacker, who, by the way, plays with he and Hardy play with great speed at linebacker, and Surratt and so forth. I mean, those are the guys he brought over. You're not going to have what's happened. Why has the Big Ten now been able to go toe-to-toe with the SEC in recent years? Because the Big Ten got better with offensive linemen. And I don't mean the Big Ten is great offensive linemen. the Big Ten has done a better job of identifying big, powerful offensive and defensive linemen that are also flexible.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have flexibility. You have to have the ability to run. You have to have the ability to pull and get out there. There are a lot of guys that, for example, I see out there is one guy that just put his name in the transfer portal, Penn State. He's a big, powerful, strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
His problem is flexibility. He's very stiff as to how he plays. Okay. I mean, and that held him back. Well, the Big Ten has done a better job of identifying big, powerful, and flexible offensive and defensive linemen, which is what the SEC did years ago. And that's why they're just not just a step ahead of the group of five. There's several steps ahead of the group of five in the trenches. Okay? The skill players are really good.
Of course. They're going to be, because there are going to be skill players all over the place.
Right. So Tulane and James Madison, no issue. The skill players could play for a lot of people across the country. No question about it. The problem that they were going to have, as I identified going into the game, is that they're not going to be as good up front. So the time that is Barrett the quarterback for James Madison, something like Barnett, Barrett, right, whatever, right. The time he had in some of the Conference USA games he played in is not there.
Nope.
Okay, it's not there anymore because suddenly that's Bear Alexander. Now, Alexander didn't do a lot in the game. He made a couple plays later, but that's Bear Alexander over there. That's Uyungale over there. Okay, 44. He's a really good player. I think he's better than Uyungale, to be honest with you. He played really well against Penn State. The point is,
they are in the backfield in a flash,
they've got that.
And you don't have 5 seconds. You have half a second to figure out what you're doing.
I mean, Mixon and Betcher, especially Mixon as a cover linebacker, he's really good. This is where they fall short. Now, how do you solve this? Well, you have to spitball some ideas here. Because I firmly believe they should go to 16 and cap it at 16. In other words, don't go past 16. There is a point because of the physicality of the sport where you can play too much football at this age. But I can see going to 16. I could care less about the Notre Dame situation. That's their issue, which we'll get to in a second.
We'll discuss the playoffs, though.
But I want to say, this is a little tricky. Because I would like to see the top 2 ranked group of 5 teams play a play-in game. And I would like to see it happen on the weekend before the playoff starts. Right? In other words, that would eliminate, if you want to play it on a Saturday. But see, the Army-Navy games there, the problem is not Army playing Navy. But the problem is, what if one of them happens to be
Army or Navy,
one of the top 2 group of 5 teams ranked? Because they're both in conferences now.
You've both gotten close to getting in.
Right. So you've got to work around that. Do you have them reschedule Army Navy and have them put at the first game of the season, play on a Friday night?
Or have them play, I guess you can have them play championship week because that could also coincide with them being in
That's why they're playing the weekend they play now, because one of them could be playing in the title game of their conference.
Right.
And so you've got to work around that, but I would like to see a play-in game between the top 2 ranked group of 5 teams for the right to be that 16th seed. And I think the way I'm understanding it is that, 16 would then play 1. Actually, no. 16 would play 3 because I think they want to play 7 games and have the top 2 teams be
bide.
I mean, and these are all home games. The bowl thing is great. I've wanted to see the bowls included, but every time I watch these home playoff games. I mean, the atmosphere is coming right through the screen. It's unbelievable.
And speaking of bowl games,
the only neutral site game that the NFL plays is the Super Bowl.
That's it.
Besides the game between the Vikings and the Rams last year, which because of the fires in Los Angeles,
to Arizona.
They had to move it to Glendale because they needed the personnel to go to Pacific Palisades and
help the wildfires. They also
and
play
Altadena and so forth.
Speaking of the playoffs, Steve Jones, it is time to walk through the second round, the bowl game round. So the Goodyear Cotton Bowl coming up on New Year's Eve. Miami versus Ohio State in Arlington, Texas. OSU is favored by about 10 points. What say you, Mr. Jones?
Well, it's the same issue that Ohio State's had all year, and it's one of the reasons why I thought Indiana was going to win the Big Ten championship game. And the reason, because Penn State played them in back-to-back weeks. Mm-hmm. There are so many things about Ohio State I like just watching. I mean, the wide receivers are superior. Saying it throws a beautiful ball. Their defense plays really, really well. But again, the running game for Ohio State is good. It's not great. And their offensive line is good, but not great. And I felt that going into the Penn State-Ohio State game, because remember I said that going in, and then after doing the game, it confirmed what I thought. Mm-hmm. And that's why, why'd you pick Indiana? Because I think when you're going one-on-one, I think Indiana's smart enough to know that one-on-one they're probably not going to win some of those battles, but they do so much twisting.
They do.
And stunting the way they do it, and their timing on it, because they do it so much, their timing, they scrape as to how they do it. And you've got to be able to pick up. And I really thought Ohio State was going to struggle at times trying to pick some of that stuff up, and they did. Now, Miami's not going to do that. And I think that Ohio State will win the game. I think the margin is going to be 7 to 10 points in the end. What's interesting about these games is none of these teams has a great field goal kicker.
No, everyone's really kind of struggled.
Yeah, I mean, they've all really kind of struggled. And fielding, okay, you get a gut feeling about something. I'm watching the Ohio State-Indiana Big Ten championship game, and Ohio State finally gets a really nice drive. They drive down, and I think it's going to be a 27, 28-yard attempt. It was on the hash mark. And you get a gut feeling. I'm thinking, God, Michigan last year, he missed a bunch of these. He's going to miss this. And I was like, okay. And he missed it. He yanked it left. He did that against Michigan last year. He missed 2 of them. I think at least 2 of them a year ago against Michigan. So. And you're like, you ask yourself, is a guy made for the moment? I don't know. Miami has struggled with this. Texas A&M was a killer for them.
Yeah.
I mean, but Davis missed, 3 field goals?
On the season, both Sappington and Fielding for Oregon, Ohio State are 16 for 19.
But Sappington, I think, is pretty good. I think Sappington actually is a good field goal kicker.
And then Stone Harrington for Texas Tech is 22 of 27. He's made the most field goals out of everybody. He is 81% on the season. But those are the only kickers that are in the top, 50.
Now, most of these teams are so good they're scoring touchdowns, so it's not.
Alabama's Connor Talty is 15 for 22. Nico Radicic is 15 for 16.
Yeah,
so he's probably.
You know what? He was named the Big Ten Kicker of the Year. And I'll be honest with you, I voted for Ryan Barker because I think Barker's better.
Yeah.
You know what?
Barker 15 for 16.
I mean, Radicic, by the way, the one he missed was in the Big Ten championship game. But, hockey, look at how he kicks.
Yeah.
He kicks low-line drive kicks almost all the time. I'm surprised he has not had one blocked.
I would have, I'm surprised.
But
other kickers, you've got Woodring from Georgia, 15 for 16. You've got Carter Davis, 15 for 20 from Miami.
Woodring is good. No, but Davis, he missed 3 against Texas A&M. Woodring's a good kicker.
But the point is, none of these guys are lights out.
And remember, that game that Georgia plays is indoors. Okay? And the game that they'll play in the Cotton Bowl is indoors.
So let's get to the second game, the noon kickoff, Oregon, Texas Tech. So you said Ohio State wins the Cotton Bowl.
I think overall, especially on defense, they're just better. And I think they throw the ball well. I mean, look, Smith and Tate are 2 exceptional players. But a key player moving forward for Ohio State, in my opinion, is going to be Max Clare, the tight end. I thought he was terrific at Purdue. I think he's been terrific at Ohio State. I mean, you watch the Rutgers game. Tate and Smith are out, so he needed an option. Clare was the option. Sometimes if they're taking your guys downfield, You don't need to force it to him. Just throw it to him. He's going to get your first down every time. Keep the drive going.
Coming up at noon in the Orange Bowl, Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon is favored by less than a field goal. Steve Jones, the game down in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
I want to wish Jerry Allen all the luck in the world.
Why is that, sir?
Because Jerry, who, by the way, really liked the broadcast position here, the temporary position, he said, Steve, this is really nice. Jerry, you're going to be very low to the field.
It's almost like you were there a year ago or something.
Oh, no. Very, very familiar with it. Let me see here.
But
why don't you preview it? I'll show everybody the picture of it.
Yeah, Oregon, Texas Tech, the game. Currently, per indicators, it's pretty much a split. Oregon is sitting there 1.5 favored by total 52.5 points.
And there's no home field advantage. Texas Tech will travel a lot of people.
Yes. And you're in Miami, so they're going to probably have the best in terms of travel, but Oregon's got a lot of fans all over the place. Of course, Texas Tech is known this season for their defense, their defensive front.
They're really
strong.
good.
You've got Rodriguez, the linebacker, who people think should have been a Heisman candidate and should have been a top 4, but got 5th. You've got Bailey off the edge. You've got running backs like Dickey, Morton at quarterback, Douglas and Coe at receiver.
Okay. So how well can you see that?
You can see that pretty well.
Can I go back or
that's right there. Yeah, that is. You're basically sitting in a seat that I would go buy a ticket for.
Right. Well, that's what Jack said. He says, I don't even know if I'd pay for this seat. That's what he said to me. I said, but there's ways to make it work. But I'm saying, like, to those guys, good luck.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Oregon, Texas Tech.
But let me tell you what the biggest issue I have with Texas Tech. It's quarterback.
Morton.
I've watched Texas Tech play 3 times this year. Not one time did he impress me. Like 0. Now, the freshman kid Hammond, he stepped into the Utah game. And he played, because Morton got hurt. He played great. Now, I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what his situation is. But Morton does not light me up as a quarterback at all. I sit there and go, okay. I mean, he's a gutsy guy. He is not going to hook slide to get a first down. He's going to lower his shoulder and try to hit somebody. And he's okay throwing the ball. But Dante Moore's on the other side. That's a big check mark to have on your side at quarterback. It's a big check mark. He doesn't. Defensively, Texas Tech's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. So.
They rush the passer about as well as anyone could. Rodriguez is great and linebacker slot.
He's terrific. And see, that's going to be will Dante Moore have the time? Those 2 tackles are good. But what game was I watching the other day? I was watching. It was a Big Ten officiating crew. So it had to be one of the playoff games. It may have been the Alabama-Oklahoma game. It was a Big Ten crew. Got a guy up around the neck like this. That's not holding. Like, I have no dog in the hunt. In other words, I don't care who's winning the game. I'm just like watching the game. Right? And all I kept thinking was deny Dennis Sutton. Like, it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, you got to call something.
So, Oregon, Texas Tech, who do you take?
Oh, Oregon will win the game, and I think that Oregon will win the game.
Oregon will win the game.
Same story, 7 to 10 points.
And then over the place that
good game, but these are all really good games in the fourth quarter. But in the end, 7 to 10 points.
And then going to the place that Oregon was last season, where they lost, the Rose Bowl, where Mr. Don Fisher is going to be this season. Alabama versus Indiana.
I'm happy for Don. I know Chris Stewart. I know Chris on the other side. He's done basketball before he took the Alabama job.
Indiana's favored by a touchdown in this game. Coming into it in Pasadena.
Okay, what's the issue with Alabama that's the same with Ohio State?
Cannot run the ball well.
They don't run the ball as well as a championship team should. Okay? In other words, they're good. Okay?
But
they're good, but now you're into the best against the best. Alabama's going to have to handle the Indiana stunts up front. I think Alabama may be taken aback, at least initially, by the speed of Fisher and Hardy at linebacker. Because, it's a Big Ten team. You don't think about a Big Ten team being able to run. Williams has had a really big-time struggle at wide receiver this year. He had a great freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
He leads the nation in drops.
Oof.
And that is, I didn't expect that to happen with him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at, they're going to find D'Angelo Pons may not be big in stature.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be his NFL problem, will be his stature, not his skills.
Mm-hmm.
His skills are superior. And Moore is a terrific safety. But you can make Alabama one-dimensional where Ty Simpson has to beat you. And Simpson's a really good quarterback. But you got to get some pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll need to get some pressure on him. And if Alabama has trouble handling the stunts of Indiana, then it could be. Then offensively, it's all going to be. It's not just going to be Mendoza throwing the ball. I think Mendoza at times is going to have to run the ball, and I think they're going to be and again, Mateer made that one big mistake to me where he got out. And he had 20 to 25 yards in front of him, and he didn't take it. He decided to hit a big play. It's like, and I kind of felt like that was a take the air out of the stadium moment. Like, because you had a chance to really put the hammer down. So Mendoza, tough, throws a beautiful ball, but his ability to run, I think, could be very important in this game.
Indiana, Alabama, who do you take in this one?
I'll take Indiana to win the game by less than a touchdown.
Taking Indiana so far, you have Ohio State.
I've got all the top
Oregon,
seeds, and I'm going to take
Indiana.
Georgia as well. So,
and then Georgia, Ole Miss is the final one. Georgia favored by just about a touchdown, playing in the Sugar Bowl down in the Superdome down in New Orleans.
Yep.
Ole Miss is good. Georgia's good. SEC matchup.
Georgia, it's interesting. Georgia, this is not one of the great Georgia teams ever.
And they did play earlier this season. Georgia beat Ole Miss 43-35.
In Athens. And it's a game that looked like Ole Miss was going to win. They were finally going to get over the top and win the game.
They're up by 9.
Okay? I think, let's start with this. Ole Miss is not intimidated at all by Georgia. They know they can go toe-to-toe with them. This is a lot. Like, let's go back to 2007, last game, regular season, NFL. All right, the Patriots undefeated, played the Giants. The Giants played them all out in that game, and the Patriots survived and won and completed an undefeated regular season.
Yeah.
But then they played again in the Super Bowl. And when they played in the Super Bowl, I think this is the one in Glendale.
Yep.
Right? When they played in the Super Bowl, the Giants didn't walk in there going, oh, they haven't lost the game. Like, we should have beaten that darn team a few weeks ago. In other words, they walked in there like, we can play with these guys.
We know we could beat them. We should have beat them.
All right. I think Ole Miss feels the same way.
Well, they should have. They were up 35-26.
Yes.
End of the fourth quarter. Georgia goes 12 plays, 75, 6 minutes, touchdown. Ole Miss 3-and-out, punt, no yards gained. Georgia 9 plays, 67 yards, 5 minutes, touchdown. Ole Miss 3 plays, 1 yard, punt. Georgia, 10 plays, 66, 4 minutes, field goal. Ole Miss, 5 plays, 12 yards, turnover on downs, game over. Like, they had it. And
right.
then
they had it, and then they lost it. Gunnar Stockton, to me, is a very good college quarterback. He's got a lot of guts. He has the ability to make plays when, like, Joe Paterno would walk up and down the sideline, and he'd say, okay, who's going to make a play? Who's going to make a play? He would do that when Penn State was behind in a game. I don't think Kirby Smart has to do that because he looks at Gunnar Stockton and he says, don't worry, I'm going to make a play. And he does make a play.
Yeah.
The running game is good. I really, really like the Georgia tight ends. Zachariah Branch, as a returner, is
dangerous.
Terrific. And as a wide receiver is very, very good. Defensively, Georgia is not, and this happens when you get so many guys drafted. You have so many guys drafted.
When your entire defense gets drafted year after year.
At some point, you're not quite the same. Ole Miss can compete with them in the trenches. They can. And I think it's going to be a really good game. I think this comes down to a field goal. I do. I'll pick Georgia. Uneasy picking Georgia only because Ole Miss hasn't shown me yet they can get past them because they played them the last couple of times. They've been great games, but have not found. You got to find that one play each half. You You got to find one winning play each half to win. Ole Miss hasn't found that play against Georgia.
No.
And if they do, they'll win.
Yes. Now, the final piece of our discussion here before we do Christmas at the end of the show. Penn State, Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl coming on up this Saturday. We're not going to be live until that game goes on, of course. So this is our chance to talk about it and discuss it. Penn State 6-6, Clemson 7-5. Preseason number 2 versus preseason number 4 over in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. In terms of the opt-outs and the players who are not playing for Penn State, I know we've discussed transfer portals. So I believe Joey Schlafler, Alex Birchmeier, Elliott Washington, A.J. Harris, and Chaz Coleman are in the transfer portal.
Yep.
So I presume they're all not playing.
All right.
And then you get to the players who have opted out, which include Nick Singleton, Vega Ioane, Zane Durant. Who am I missing? Who am I missing
You're
here?
going to have to name it only for this reason, okay?
Because you know.
Because I already know.
Yeah. I believe the players.
And I'm not at liberty. I'm not at
Zachy
liberty.
Wheatley. Zachy Wheatley's the guy I was missing. Zachy
yes.
Wheatley's the last one I was missing.
Right.
So those are the players who have opted out as of this moment. No one else as of 11:49 a.m. Tuesday, December 23rd, has either opted out or is not playing in this game. These are the guys who are playing. Penn State is going to be coached by Terry Smith in this game.
Yes.
I believe Andy Kolodnicki on offense, and then Anthony Poindexter on defense.
And Justin Lustig on special teams.
Matt Campbell, I assume, will be there somewhere.
Well, he's going.
out.
Matt is coming in, I believe, on Friday, like Friday afternoon, whatever. In other words, he's left it to Terry and this staff. They're coaching the game.
He will be there to watch the game
He will be. The way the schedule looks now in the game is that he will make an appearance on ESPN with Dave Pasch and Dusty Dvorak. By the way, it's a terrific announce team. And then I guess when he's done with them, the schedule is for him to come over and join Jack and I.
Okay.
And that would be maybe the end of the first quarter, somewhere in the second quarter, something like that. And I think when that happens, I think my job will be to call plays, but I want he and Jack to talk. Because I know Matt, I've already talked to Matt, and I know Matt wants to meet and get to know Jack a little bit.
He brought him up in his introductory press conference as a player he used to watch.
So, and Jack, it's one thing, Jack asks really great questions. I'm talking on the air, off the air. Jack's a very inquisitive person. So I think it would be beneficial to the audience to hear Jack ask him questions, have the two of them talk back and forth, and then I'll insert plays here and there because I think that to me is the best way to do it. Now, if there's a point where maybe I have a question, I might insert that. But I think the audience is going to want to hear Jack and Matt talk. And I think, Matt really wants to talk to Jack as well because he hasn't had a chance to meet him or talk to him yet.
And he will, and of all places, Yankee Stadium.
Yes. Now the weather. We're talking about a storm coming up the coast on Friday that possibly will dump maybe anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow in the New York area. That's a possibility. You and I both know they can veer off or it becomes rain or whatever. That's Friday, Saturday. During the game, it's not supposed to have any precipitation during the game. And it's going to be in the low to mid-30s during the game, at least on today's forecast.
Yeah.
So that plays a role in it. Clemson has most of their opt-outs are on defense.
Yes, they have.
They have their 3 defensive linemen that are out. Now, Wade Woodaz, the linebacker, is hurt. So he's a starter. He's out of the game. Just like Alex Tash, as Sean Fitz reported, is not going to play for Penn State. Wade Woodaz is not going to play for Clemson. They also have 3 of their defensive backs out of the game, including Terrell, who's a really, I think he's a really good corner.
Yeah.
And their safety, Bryant, that I like, put his name in the portal. He's out.
I believe
they've got
Barnes, Creighton, Anderson on the defense for Clemson of all in the transfer portal.
Anderson's a backup linebacker. Okay, he's not a starter. Okay, there's another. There's 2 Alexanders. Right.
Yeah.
And one of them plays, and the other one is out. It's the one that doesn't play as often. It's more of a special teams and a backup guy. He's out of the game.
And then you add on in, of course, the opt-out. I said Capehart and Woods at defensive tackle, Parker at defensive end, Terrell at cornerback, and Antonio Williams at wide receiver have all already opted out.
And Sadler, the guard, is out of the game because of an injury.
He's out. Wood, as you mentioned, Bryant Wesco is out for the year.
Wesco's been out for weeks.
Yeah. And then, so it is a lot of people are out or injured or in the portal. It is going to be a different unit for both teams in this game.
Now, Cabe Klubnik's playing, but I think he should play. Adam Randall, the running back, to his credit, has always been a receiver. This was the first chance for Randall to prove to everybody he can be an every down running back, and to his credit, I think has shown that he can be an every down running back. He's a good player. And Randall's a good player, but keep that first part I said in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
You can throw to him coming out of the backfield. Their backup tight end is out of the game, injury. Okay, their fourth-string tight end who played basketball against Penn State last year with 18 points, 13 boards, he's off the team.
Yeah.
He decided to leave football after the South Carolina game, Ian Shefflin.
Olsen Pat Henry is the tight end, by the way.
He's out. He's out of the game. I had to put together a chart.
Oh, boy.
Which I sent to Jack. I think I sent it to Jack Friday night.
Instead of a chart, you should have put together one of those string boards of players and who's leaving and who's going.
Kyle. I got 98% of it right.
Well done.
I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good because I don't have to make any changes. I'm sitting there going, all right. Because Clemson put out a step chart.
Yeah.
Right. And I looked at it and went, we did pretty well. Because I could do the Penn State depth chart. That's easy.
That one back and front.
Right. That part I know. I know who's in, who's not, and the whole deal. Right. And who's backing up the guys that are stepping in, right, and so forth. Right. But the Clemson one, you're like, for example, Will Helt. They get very few transfers at Clemson. Helt played against Penn State when he was at Purdue, defensive end. He is a really, really good player. They've got to be able to control him. If they can get some control on him, Ethan Grunkemeyer has a chance to make some plays because the Clemson pass defense is okay. And I do mean it's okay.
Yeah. Well, let's go through the Penn State team. So starting positions in terms of what we can expect from a depth chart as of, again, this moment. Running back, of course, I'm presuming as of now, Katron Allen is going to be the starting back. I think that is a fair guess as of today.
How about if I don't comment on any of this stuff?
Well, I'm just going to go through the names and the people who are behind them. If you can just
I'll talk about it. Okay.
Yeah. Am I crazy for saying the players we know now?
Would be Cam Wallace, Corey Smith, and Quentin Martin.
Along with them,
okay. Wallace has great speed. To his credit, fought his guts out to come back from not one but two broken legs on the same play. And to do that is amazing. Martin, I thought Quentin Martin showed a lot of spark in his freshman year, and I was really anxious to watch him this year. And when they got to training camp, I was like, he was okay. Wasn't great. He was okay. And then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to get into what the injury was. Obviously didn't keep him out a long period of time, but he was out. Well, when he came back, he seemed to recapture and advance himself as a running back, as a receiver. I give him a lot of credit because the guy that I'm watching, that I watched in October, November, and today is an exponentially better player than I saw in training camp. Corey Smith's got some jump to him. He really does. And so does Tyke Hayes. And I don't think this guy's going to play, but the freshman Jabri Coleman, whoa, he's got a little bit to him. And Tyke Hayes has something to him as well. So but Corey Smith, I really like Corey Smith.
So you can see them. Of course, Katron Allen, as of today, is not opted out. So just based on the depth chart from this season, he would be the starter. And he, of course, was also the starter anyway this season. At defensive tackle, Zane Duran is opted out. I believe in the depth chart, it would be Xavier Gilliam.
Xavier Gilliam would be out there for Penn State.
And who's alongside him? Who would that be?
He would be next to, let's see, Type Landing's going to play. Owen Wafel is going to play.
Who was on the depth chart behind Durant this season?
It was Gilliam.
Gilliam, okay. So Gilliam.
Yeah.
Safety, Zach Wheatley, of course, has.
And by the way, I'll give you another name that I think is going to play for Penn State defensively. And he'll probably play 10 to 15 plays at least. Liam Andrews. Liam Andrews, he might not be the most flexible guy out there, but Liam Andrews, who's a great kid, by the way, but on the field, he's got a little streak of nasty in him.
Okay.
Right? So 90, I think 90 is going to play in the game.
90's going to play.
And then Denai, Harvey, Kamaju, Zariah Fisher.
Left guard would that be either Cousins or Shanahan? I'm guessing the two of them would be without Vega Ioane.
Yep. And then Wheatley, it's Day Lane and King Mack.
The two of them.
And you'll see one just so as you're watching the game and you're saying, wait a minute, Elliott Washington's out there. No. What happened was when Elliott left the team, that allowed King Mack to go back to the number he wore here at Penn State. So he will wear number 9 in the game, which is that's the number he originally came with. But because Elliott was here, he had to wear 16. Now Elliott's not here; he's going to wear 9.
Yes.
Collins and Dixon will be the corners. I expect Jameer Joseph, and I think here's another guy. It's like a really great prospect. But again, prospect means you haven't done it before in a game. It's Josh Johnson.
Okay,
I like Josh Johnson. Not a little. I like him a lot. But you've got to do it in a game. And, of course, the game goes like this. It goes 100 miles an hour when you first get in there. If he can settle that game down into the 10 to 15 mile an hour range, be great. And I would say the number one backup safety to look for would be Vabu Toure. I think it's also critical that both Zion Tracy and Kenny Wosley are going to play in the game. I think that's really important.
And to wrap up, Mr. Steve Jones, what are your Christmas plans? Anything coming up for you? Any joy over the next few days?
Oh yeah, I've got
watching some Snoop Dogg on Netflix and the halftime show of the NFL game now.
I got all children, all grandchildren here, so we're gonna maybe play a board game. We're definitely gonna. I mean, I will definitely watch It's a Wonderful Life. I do that every year. But see, I have the DVD, and it's a 2-set. One's colorized, one isn't. I always put the colorized one in. Why? Because it just seems brighter and happier as opposed to dark, dismal. I will watch the Hawaii Bowl. I will definitely watch some NFL football on. I'm not like. I'm not going to really watch the NBA, maybe the Celtics game for a little bit, maybe. This is side stuff besides opening gifts and things like that. And then I have everything ready. The game is ready. The basketball game on Monday is ready.
NC Central.
Right. That game. You have to do every game as if like it's a game. I mean, you're on for 3 hours. You better give everybody your best. I know you're working the game. But I already have that stuff done because I wanted to make sure the calendar was clear. And then Jack and I are going to leave here, I think, Friday about 11 or so is what we talked about. We're just going to drive in. But I'm just going to relax, have some laughs, good time. When the fire trucks from Alpha come around, I'll probably scope it out and just check it. And I love this time of the year. I always have. It's always, Now in Hanukkah, did you get? Was it always a tradition for you growing up that you got a gift every night?
We did, as a family, we did a gift every night. But
it's 8 nights, right?
It is 8 nights. We would usually do a theme for each night. So one night would be like the clothing night. One night would be if we need new school supplies for different things. One night would be like this is the thing you really wanted. This is the number one item, whatever that may be.
Toy or something,
yeah. So we each had our own, a general theme, and that was how we did it. And then Christmas, of course, for us would be movie theater, Chinese food, which is what I will be doing again this year.
Yeah.
I do not know what I'm going to watch, but I'm going to watch some movies.
I'll definitely watch the Broncos and the Chiefs game on Prime for a while on Christmas night. But then I'm going to,
spend some time with family.
Well, that's what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, that's what I want to do. I bought a board game, for everybody to play. I thought we'd have some fun with it. And then I think that I remember as a kid, people have, you get asked, when you do what I do, I've been asked like 1,000 questions, in interviews and things like that, right? And I remember they asked me what was my favorite gift growing up, and it was easy. When I was a kid, my brother was the worst. He'd go down and he'd scope out gifts like that my mom would hide. I didn't do that. But he'd go, oh, you won't believe what we got. But he'd wake me up at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's go down. I'm like, okay, I'll go down. There was this long box down there. It was for me. And it was one of those hockey games.
Oh.
Right? So the two teams on there were the Detroit Red Wings and the LA Kings. Now, because my dad had a sheet metal fabrication shop, I began by cleaning the shop on Saturdays and so forth. I remember I started out at 35 cents an hour. I remember when Dad gave me a raise to 50 cents an hour. Oh, I was just, hey, look what I did. But I saved my money. Right? Remember we went to, at the beginning of the show, we talked about about blowing it or investing it. I was like a saver. Right? And when I got this hockey game, I love this thing. Right? Playing all. So what I did was I found the order form in there, and I bought the rest of the teams. Now, this is the time when the NHL had expanded, so now they had the 6 new teams, the St. Louis Blues, the Minnesota North Stars, the Penguins, the Philadelphia Flyers, right? The St. Louis Blues and the California Golden Seals, right? The Oakland Seals. And I bought them because one came with the one division, all the old-time teams, Rangers, Bruins, Blackhawks, right? And all the expansion teams. That way I could change the teams on there all the time. And, of course, I wanted to be the Bruins all the time.
Of course.
Right? But, yeah, I love that. That was my favorite gift growing up. I love that.
And have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays.
Well, happy holidays to you. I always want to be respectful of what everybody celebrates along the way because I think that's really, really important. We will have an interview on Friday, then we'll have an interview on Monday, then we're back live on Tuesday the 30th. Back live with this, which at that point we'll preview more like college football playoff quarterfinals and do a retrospective on what happened with Penn State football. And again, remember, John Heacock has decided to retire. So people have been wondering about the defensive coordinator position. Maybe by then we'll have more clarity on it.
And by then, we'll probably have more news in the transfer portal as
well.
Because
have a lot
spoilers, transfer portal opens up when we are on our way to Philadelphia for the Palestra game.
On the 2nd, yes. It opens up on the 2nd. So at 12:01 a.m., right, you'll find out what backdoor deals have been made in college football.
And that'll wrap it up for Sports Talk with Steve Jones today, powered by Happy Valley Live and the Student Bookstore.
We can't thank them enough, and thank you enough. Happy holidays to all of you. Please be safe.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape.